Chord inversions, triads, 1, 3, 5, what's it all mean? All right, here we go. So let's start with triads. Triads are simply 3-note chords. Chord inversions are different ways to play that same chord. Basically, there's 3 ways to play any, let's say, major, minor chord. Okay, let's start with a major chord. Now, the major chord is simply constructed of your 1, 3, and 5. Now, what do we mean by 1, 3, 5? Well, if you take your E major scale, okay, 1 is going to be your root note, E, count up, 1, 2, 3, G sharp, that's your 3, count up to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's B, okay? So E major chord only ever consists of 3 notes, E, G sharp, and B. So when you play this E major chord here, the only notes in there are E, G sharp, and B. Let's go through them. First note E, there's your 1. Second note B, there's your 5. Third note E again, that's a 1. Fourth note G sharp, that's a 3. Fifth note B, that's a 5. Sixth note E, that's your 1 again, your tonic. So, okay, so inversions work like this. When your root note is the first note in the chord, that's a root chord. So let's do D string 2nd fret, G string 1st fret, B string open. Okay, that's your root chord. Now the first inversion is going to be, your first note is going to be 3. So it's going to be 3, 5, 1. So that's D string 6th fret, G string 4th fret, B string 5th fret. First inversion, E. Okay, let's go to second inversion for E, which is going to be B, E, G sharp. So that's going to be 9th fret for your D, G, and B strings. Okay, now taking this up back to your root, you're going to go 14 on your D string, 13 on your G string, and 12 on your B string. That's back to the root. So you've got root, first inversion, second inversion, and then back to root again. Okay, now let's talk about inversions on G, B, and E string. Now, I typically only mess around with inversions a lot on either your D, G, B string, for triads, I should say, or your G, B, and E string. The reason is I don't think triad inversions necessarily sound so great down here, but I think they're very useful on your higher strings. So let's talk about G, B, E strings. Let's stick with the E major. And we're going to start with your G sharp B E, which is our first inversion. So it goes like this. Okay, that's G string 1st fret, B string open, E string open. All right, second inversion is going to be B, E, G sharp. So it's going to be G string 4th, B string 5th, and E string 4th. Now let's go up to, in this case, this is going to be the root chord. G string 9th fret, B string 9th fret, and E string 7th fret. That's your root because E, again, is your first note there. And if you want to take it on up to repeat the first inversion, which was G sharp B E, you can go there. Okay, so what's a practical way to use these chord inversions and why do you need to learn them? Well, let's say you're in a band and you've got somebody playing the acoustic guitar or playing the rhythm guitar, or maybe playing a keyboard / piano, and they're playing, let's say the song is a E, B, A progression, and they're playing down in this range. So rather than you playing in that same range, you may want to mix it up and play here. Or you may play it here. Or you may play it here. Just to mix things up and give it a little bit more sonic texture, or you'll see this a lot if you get into playing some reggae type stuff. Okay, so that's E major. Now let's go through E minor, your minor inversions. Now the only difference here is instead of a 3, it's going to be a flat 3. So if you run up your E minor scale and count them out, instead of your G sharp being your 3, G is going to be your 3. So it's 1, 3 is now G, 5 is still B, however. So on the D, G, B string triad, E minor is going to be D string 2nd fret and G and B open. First inversion is going to be G, B, E. That's going to be D string 5th fret, G string 4th fret, B string 5th fret. And working your way up to the second inversion is going to be B, E, G. So that's D string 9th fret, G string 9th fret, B string 8th fret. And if you want to take this on up, so D string 14th fret, G and B both on the 12th. Okay, now let's do that for G string, B string, E string. For the E minor is going to be open. That's first inversion, G, B, E. Now let's go to second inversion, which is going to be G string 4th fret, B string 5th fret, and E string 3rd fret. And back to the root chord. This is going to be G string 9th fret, B string 8th fret, E string 7th fret. And if you want to take that up one more, it's going to be everything G, B, and E all on the 12th. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out with inversions, triads, 1, 3, 5, all that good stuff. Demystifies that a little bit. And just remember, learn them all the way up and down, all your different keys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I will catch you later. Thanks.